we work very closely one-on-one with the M-STEM students to make sure they are in good course schedules. Now, the primary person that they work with their course scheduling are the regular engineering academic advisors. They meet with them during orientation, and they will meet with them during the regular academic year. But one of the things that we found within our system, it is true that a student can meet with an academic advisor, get lots of advice about what courses to take, and then they can, however, go off and sort of do whatever they want to. There's nothing that commits them to registering for certain courses. Basically, what we've set up in M-STEM is we want students to follow recommendations of academic advisors. They have a lot of experience. They know it works. They know what doesn't work. And so we want, as part of M-STEM, students to follow those recommendations. Believe me, we've seen so many cases of students who end up in severe academic trouble just because they've tried doing things in a certain way that we knew from the beginning would not work. So this is, I mean, you're still allowed, all sorts of latitude in courses you take, activities you want to participate in, whether you want to do, undergraduate research, all these kinds of things. You have your regular meeting with academic advisors. We just don't want you to go off and do things that academic advisors don't know that you're doing, or M-STEM staff don't know what you're doing in terms of courses. We do like to know, when you meet with your academic coach, for example, I'm one of the academic coaches, I'll be meeting with some of the students individually. We usually just try and get a sense of what are the activities you're involved in, so we can help you decide, is this going to be too much? Do you need to cut back on something? I think we have lots of stories about this. I can tell you personally, one of the students I was working with during our first M-STEM cohort, she came in early in the fall, and because we meet with students right away in the fall, we want to make sure everything is in place, everything is running smoothly. And one of the first things we're going through her schedule and talking about what she's involved in, and she said, well, I'm working 20 hours a week at the bookstore right now. And, first thing I thought about, everything we talked about in the summer program, now how is that happening? These things still can happen. So we stopped that. I said, you can work maybe 6 hours, maybe 8 hours a week. If this is a financial issue, we'll find another solution to the financial part of this. But you cannot work 20 hours a week and be a full-time engineering student. I know another student that one of our academic coaches was working with, when she looked at all the things she was involved in, she looked at it and said, this is way too much. You have to stop this and this and this. And about a semester later, that student came back and she said, I am so glad you told me to cut those things out. She said, I just needed someone to tell me that, because I was going to just, I was going to be failing my courses if I kept all that stuff up. So again, you have to trust us that we got some pretty good ideas about what's going to work and what's not going to work. You might even hear some things from other students sometimes that might not be the best advice. You can listen to other pieces of advice, but always run it by us too. So we really do need to know that. Now, one of the things that we do say, and you see it parenthetically here, is that in the M-STEM Academy, we do not allow students to pledge fraternities or sororities during the first year. We've had a fair amount of experience over a number of years, just seeing in general first-year students who try and pledge a fraternity or sorority. It can create a lot of academic difficulty. Students can do that afterwards once they get settled in, they've made the transition. It's really the same as of any student organization. We tell students, try out some student organizations. Don't try and become, the president during your first term. Don't, take on 15 hours a week activity in that organization, but try some things out. And we're really trying to help you be successful. That's what it's all about. We do have weekly supplemental instruction sessions in math every week that M-STEM students participate in. And so that's part of what that $750 stipend is about. It's to do these kinds of things. So, I always think this is a great deal. Basically, we're giving you some study sessions that we set up specifically for M-STEM students. and then we're paying you to go to them. And when students do, we find out that they do much better in their math courses. So it's a great deal. And meeting with the MSTEM academic coach, the mentor, attending the family meetings, these are all parts of the things that the stipend is meant to pay you to do. So, so basically we're paying you to do things that would really help you out. Okay. And I should just add, the stipends that we pay, we've set them up in such a way that they don't affect your financial aid in any way. The money goes directly to you, so it's on top of anything. It won't replace, a loan or anything like that. So it really is it's a benefit to you. But think of it as paying you to do certain things that we've already have evidence of that these things will help you out. And finally, you've heard that this is a Academy of Scholars. We want our MSTEM Academy participants to strive and meet the goal of a 3.0. And I know that often sounds very strange from high school students who probably almost everyone in here has 3.8, 3.9, 4.0 and above GPA. I see all these applications, so I see lots of 4.0 plus GPAs, so it's like 3.0, that shouldn't be any big problem. Our average freshman GPA in engineering is about a 2.9, so there's a sizable drop. And remember, you've heard, everybody coming here is just like you. They're at the top of their class, they've taken all the tough courses. So 3.0 it's not easy. It's definitely doable, but it's not easy. And so we definitely want you to do that. It really opens up all the doors. It allows you to be eligible for scholarships, internships, as you're eventually as you're trying to look at future employment. Employers are always looking at 3.0 and above when you graduate. So that really is a pretty important grade GPA level that you want to maintain and always focus on. The other thing we've instituted in MSTEM is that because math is such an important course, that MSTEM students should be earning a B- or better in all their beginning math courses. That's what we have found, and we've looked at over 10 years of data to substantiate this, that students who get less than a B- in their first course tend to run into trouble in the next couple math courses and then in their engineering courses. In fact, our own Engineering Advising Center says we might start adopting this for all engineering students. They would really like a way to adopt this because they run into the same problems. Even though a C is a passing grade, it doesn't necessarily spell great success down the road. So we're very serious about this. Now, to be honest, we have not had much of a problem with this at all. Our MSTEM students who come through the summer program, participate in supplemental instruction during the school year, they've been averaging far above a B- in their first math courses, more like a B+. So that's been good, and we want to make sure that students kind of understand that that's an important goal for them to attain. So finally, it is a community, and we want all the students in MSTEM to really feel that this is their community, this is about them, and so they contribute their own strengths and skills to the success of this community. We always say, we tell the students over and over that the whole group is only as strong as the weakest link. So when you know a student who's having trouble in a class, help them out, right? If you need help, raise your hand. Let other students know you need help. But that's very important. In multiple ways, we want the students to support one another.